Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to week 8. Today, we are going to be looking at mastering Figma components, variants, Boolean property, and instant swipe. So this is what we're going to be learning this week. And as usual, we have our 3-point agenda. We are going to talk about, this week activity. Where I'm also going to do a walkthrough, like a foundational knowledge of Figma components, variants, how to create Boolean property and instant swap, and we are going to open room for question and answer. So, like I said earlier, this week is about components, right? And when we're talking about components, there is variant with it, there is Boolean property, there is instant swap, right? So, if you want to when designing UI, components are very, very important. When, for example, if you have like a UI component that you are going to use multiple times, right, is advisable or is best for you to create a master component of it. Then you can keep on using it. In a case where there is a change, you just go to the master component and change it, and it's going to reflect to all of the places that you've used the variant. So that is why it's important for you to master how to create components and everything that is attached to it. All right, so now let's dive into Figma and let's start the tutorial. So today, for this component, we're going to be creating a button, a set of button in a component. So I want us to pay attention, and please just drop it in the chat if you can see my screen and hear me clearly. Okay, so let's create a button, right? So the first thing I want to do is I'll be needing icons, right, in my button. So let me just quickly use this plugin just to bring in my icons. Which icon should I use? Let me use arrow. Let me use the arrow icon. Arrow left. Arrow left. Okay. Let me bring in this. Okay. Let me use search for arrow right. Okay. Okay, they are in. All right. So I need to zoom in so that I can see my icons. Okay. I don't really like this icon. I don't like the way they are. So let me go again. I don't really like the way those icons are. Okay, I think I like this. Yeah, I think I prefer this. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes, I think I prefer this. Okay. So the next thing. So what we want to create is we want to create a button. We want to create like 3 sizes of the button, and we also want to create the states. So also another thing I want to do is I want to bring in some icons, right? I want to just bring in some icons here. Let me just bring in this icon. Okay, we are going to be using it when we are looking at instant swipe. So that's that's why I'm bringing in some other icons for instant swap purpose. So now I want to just rename this arrow left, arrow right. I just want to rename it in a simple term. Ideally, when you want to use icon, right, you need to get a set. There is set of icons that you can use. They are already formatted into components. Like I don't need to start doing all of these things that I'm doing. but for the case of for the sake of tutorial, that's why I'm doing all of these things. Okay, so now we have this guy, right? You come here. So now what I want to do is I want to create each of them as a component, right? So if I click on this guy, and I come to this top sidebar, you can see create component. When I click on it, automatically is a component. But instead of doing it one after the other, you can as well just highlight everything that you want to create as components. Click on this arrow. You can see when you click on this as create component, it's going to create everything together as one component. That's not what we want, right? This is what we want. Create multiple components. So you can see what you are saying is you want each of them to be a component on its own. So that's what we are saying. So now when you click on that component that you've created, you see that that component icon has changed, and it changed to add variant. Add variant is saying that you want to add another. So this is like the mother, right? So add variant means you want to add a child. You can see, or you want to add. Okay. Let me use this example. It's like like Muslims now. Some Muslims they get married to multiple wives, right? So it's like the husband. Now this is the wife. So he wants to add another wife, right? So that is what basically what variance is. Sorry for using that analogy. All right. So now we've created this guy. So what I also want to do is I want to group everything together as an icon. So I created a frame. So all of these things, right, is not it's because I'm creating all of these things from scratch, right? So that's why I'm doing all of these things. So now the reason why I put them in this is so that it can this frame would group everything together as icon. So now when I duplicate this guy here is a variant. So now when I come here, you can see now that I can select from there. You can see that in the drop down it's only this four that are appearing because they are grouped together inside here. So now when I come here and I let me bring in another icon. Let me bring in another icon. Wait, no. Okay. Let me bring in another icon. Okay. And let me just rename this. And let me create as component. Now, if I should bring this icon inside of this icon frame, and I come here, this is a variant, right? I've duplicated one of these outside here. If I come here, you can see that you can find the home. So any icon you add here, it should add up. It should group it as this icon, right? So just so that we understand that. All right, so let's continue. So now we want to create our button, right? So I'm going to take a variant of this. Instance, I mean, of this. So now I have these two. So I'm bringing in the text. So let's say button, right? So what I want to do now is so the sizes I want to create my button with is 32 px, 40 px, and 48 px. So these are the three sizes that we want to create. So this will be small, medium, and large, right? So let's say this is small, medium, and large. So now we have this guy. So now we need to change this to 32. No, and that's the size, right? That's the length of the button. So the text, let me use 16 24. Okay, so now I'm going to change this to, okay, let me use medium. I don't want the button to be too sharp. So this guy, I want to change it to 16. All right. So now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to what? Highlight everything and what? Group together with auto layout. Uh, Now let me change this to container. So now, ideally, or for some people, right, they can just use this as a button. But for me, I always like to add container inside of a container. So now with this container, I'm going to add another auto layout. Then we'll call this button. So now, this is where our padding will now apply to. So padding horizontally is going to be, let's say 24. 24 is too more. Let's say 16. Okay, 16 and 8. Okay, so now if you look at this now, you can see the height is 40. That means this will be our medium, right? This would be our medium. Let me readjust this. It's supposed to be facing here. All right. So now, but let's just create one button, right? Let's add style. Let's add color to it. Then we now modify with the size. So now the next thing I want to do is to add a fill. So the fill, we are just using let's just use black, black and white. Black 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now this guy is here 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so now the space between here I've not set it. I want to set it to 8. You can see the space between these guys 8. Okay. Oh, this 20. All right. No. What am I doing? Okay, it's still 24. Okay. Aha. So now, which kind of button do we want? Can someone just suggest? Is it fully rounded? Do we want sharp edge? What I mean is, should we do fully rounded this way, using the corner radius, or should it be just slightly, cornered, or sharp? Okay, fully rounded. Thank you, Abayomi. So let me just put 100. So you can put, as long as it's fully rounded, you can put a higher number, right? So now fully rounded. So this is our medium button. Now let's duplicate. Let's duplicate here. Let's duplicate here. So what we want to do next is we want to create, this is the medium, right? We want to create the small. So now the small, the text is going to reduce to 14. So now I'm going to change it to 6. So you can see it's 32. So now I'm also going to change it to like 12. So you can see this is also this guy. I can decide to leave it, and I can decide to even reduce it, right? So like, let's say 14. Okay, so I think this is good. All right, so this guy here, we want to make sure he's 48. So you can see when I click on this, see the height 32. When I click on this, see the height 40. Now when I click on this, we need to adjust this to what? To large. So we're going to use 20, or no, 18. So make this 20. Okay, still the same. Okay, so you can see, so now also we want to just slightly increase this. So can you see, guys, can you see that there is the elevation there, small, medium, large. So now let's take this out, or let me stay within it. So now another thing we want to create when it comes to button is, so these are the sizes that we've created, right? We've created the sizes. So another thing we want to create is states. We call it states. And state is, this one that we've created is default state. We want to create, so now since I've created this as size, I cannot duplicate, right? We want to create like how many states? I think 4. So this is default. This is going to be over state. So for this over state, no, yeah, so Now, we want to create type, we want to create size, and we want to create states. So this is getting it's going to get interesting. So just so now, okay, now I'm coming. I want to arrange it in a way that it will be under, like, would also understand it better. All right, so now what I'm going to do is duplicate this guy here, duplicate this guy here. So now let me duplicate these guys also. Okay, so now what I just did here is this guy is 32, is the small, this is the medium, this is the large. Now we want to create, that is the type, right? So now we want to create state. This is the default, this is the primary state, I mean primary. Now this will be the secondary. So let me just adjust everything together. I'm highlighting everything. So what we want to do for secondary is we want to add a stroke of black. Then we'll take this out. Can you see? So this is the primary button. This is the secondary button style, right? So now, for this guy, we want to make it tertiary style. So what we're going to do is, for tertiary style, we're just going to reduce the fill, let's say 80. Okay, then we're going to change that the content inside into black. Okay, let me reduce this a bit. Okay, okay, so can you see? So now what we are saying is this is the primary button, right? This is the secondary button, while this is the tertiary button. So now if you want to use the small size of the types, you can see this is the small size of primary, medium size of primary, medium size of large size of primary. This is secondary large, secondary medium, secondary small, tertiary small, tertiary medium, tertiary large. Can you see? So now the next thing we want to do is what? We want to now do the states. So you can see what I'm doing is, okay, I think another thing I should do to make it even clear, so that it won't be confusing, is let me label them at the top. Let me add a label, because like it can be confusing at like it can be confusing when you are learning. It can be so confusing when you're learning, but it's not hard at all. So let me add enough spacing. Let me add enough spacing. Let me add enough spacing. I'm adding enough spacing so that it can be clear enough. Okay, so let's do this guy also. Let's arrange them together. 20. Okay. Okay. So I'm trying to arrange them so that and label them well for you guys. Okay. Okay. So now what I want to do now is I want to label them for you guys. So now this is small, size, small, medium, big, right? Okay. Okay, so now another thing I want to do is um okay, we know this already. Size, small, medium. Okay. So another thing I want to do is now this is the state over default default um focused disabled. Or should I just create 3 states? Okay, not to complicate things, let's just create 3 states. Okay, let's just create 3 states each so that we won't complicate things, right? Because we are still learning, we don't need to complicate, but it's going to really help us to learn all these things well and to have a better glimpse of them. Okay, so we know that this guy is big, or the group. Okay, so now as we can see, okay, this guy also. So now what I'm saying is all this guy, right? This role is default, this one is over, this one is disabled. We've not styled them yet, I'm just naming them, right? So now this column is primary. So this is now type primary, type secondary, secondary, and type tertiary. Can you see? So now what I just did here is that let me move this guy here. So what I just did here is this role is default over disabled. Those so this is the state. Sorry. So this is the state. That's what we call state. So you can see their their compound name. This old guy, the compound name is size. This row is default. This column is primary. So now we now want to style them. So let's style over. So let's select all the over, right? Even in the size, let's select them. So now for our over, we want to make sure that when you over on it, you can feel it that your cursor is actually on it. So okay, let me just style these two because they are the same black. So let me just change it to like 88. No, I said 88. Let's say 16 or 20. Or let me even use another color entirely for the over, right? Let me use another color entirely for over. Okay, so we're using another color entirely for over. Okay, so you can see we're using another color entirely. So yeah, also I'll need to change the color, and another thing I want to do is, you know, this is what I also do. Okay, so that is over. So now disable. What I want to do for disable is I want to use gray to denote disable. Disable means you can't use the button, right? It's not visible, it's not available for use. So yes, let's use something like this. You can see it's giving that dull vibe that, oh, this thing cannot be used at the moment. So now the uh, the text, I want to use a shade of this thing for the text, because another thing is, when I was talking about accessibility, right, you need to make sure that user can be able to read it well. So let me still reduce this guy to like 72, or let's say 80. No, 80 is too much. Okay, let's say 75. Okay, so now I want to use a shade of gray. I'll take this to 50. Let me use 40 or 32. No, 40. Okay, so let's use 40. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here for the text and icon. So also for this guy, let me use the same thing. Okay, so guys, are we following? Okay, so now we've done what? We've been able to style our buttons. We've been able to label them. We've arranged them. So now the next thing we want to do is to now create the components. That is the next thing to do. Please, if you are following, please, I want to see, I want to see us drop some comments, please, so that I know that you guys are following along. All right. Okay. So what I want to do is I just want to slightly reduce, the spacing here. And the next thing we are doing is to create components. So what we want to do is we want to create each and every one of these things as an individual component. So now what are we going to do? We are going to highlight everything. And then you come here, you click on the arrow, and you click on what? Create multiple components. You can see everything are individual components. So now what you want to do next is you want to now combine everything as variants. Like I said, now they are independent, right? Now what you want to do is you want to combine everything together so that they can live in one house. They can become one family. So is it that you come here and you click on combine. You can see that I'm still on it, like I've still highlighted it. You just click on combine variant and you can see now they are under one family. Each and every one of these things are still independent. They are under one family. So now I'm going to change this to button. Okay, you can see button, that's the name. So the reason why you can see that the name is button is because you already named all these things buttons, right? So now we've created the family, everything as a family. Now there is one more thing to do. When you click on this component, when you come here, you can see that there is issue. We have issue that says some variants have the same property values applied, change the value of this to resolve the issue. So what it's saying is we've not properly named this well. So there's a naming convention that we should go. So now we'll start to name. So now you can see that I've already named them, right? I've already grouped them. You can see the naming, you can see the state. So what we're going to do is to now name each and every one of them. So you click on one and you will come here. So the first thing we want to do is to start with size. Size, you say size equals to small, comma. Comma is what you use to differentiate the group. You go to the next. The next thing is you want to do type equals to primary, comma. Then the last one is state. State equals to default. So that is this guy, right? So now you can copy this. So now this other guy, let's go to this next guy. You can paste it there. So who can tell me what I'm going to change in this naming convention for this guy, for this guy here, for this over? Who can tell me what I'm going to change in this naming convention? In this, is it the size I'm going to change? Is it the type I'm going to change? Or is it the state I'm going to change? For this blue guy here. The state. Thank you so much, Nofisat. Thank you. So I'm going to change the state to what? Over. And that's all. This other guy, I'm going to change the state also to what? I'm going to just paste it there. Change the state to what? Disabled. Disabled. Can you see? Now, this next one, who can tell me what I'm going to name this guy? What am I going to change in this? Is it the size? Is it the type? Is it the state? For this other guy, this one I'm highlighting. Who can tell me what I'm going to change in this? Is it the size? Is it the type? Is it the state? The type. Thank you. Novisats, all you did your head. Secondary. The type. Thank you, Jolayemi. Thank you. You can see, the expo is already on the screen. I've already given us the expo. See, this is the expo. Everything here is secondary. Everything here is tertiary. Everything here is primary. Everything here is default. Everything here is over. So I've given, expo is already on the screen. If I should take this off, maybe when I get to this other part, I'm going to take this off so that I'll actually note if we actually know it or not. So let's keep going. So what I want to do is I want to copy this guy also. So I'm going to change this state to over. I'm going to change this to the state to disabled. So another thing that you guys should be careful of is make sure that you don't miss any spelling, because when you miss any spelling, Figma will note it as a different thing entirely. So make sure that the disabled, the way you spell disabled for this guy is the same for everything, right? So this other guy is what is going to be tertiary. We're changing the type to what? Tertiary. Copy everything. Oh, okay. We come here, change the state to over. Come here, change the state to disabled. So now let me quickly group this guy and I want to hide them. Okay, so now who can tell me how am I going to name this guy? So what am I changing here? Is it the size? Is it the type? Tell me the things that I'm going to change here. For this guy, this guy here. Tell me the size. Tell me the type. Tell me the typography, like the state. Just type in the full naming convention for this. Please, I want us to be snappy. We have less than 15 minutes. We need to hurry. Quickly. Just type it. Type it in. This guy here. Okay, the size is medium. God bless you, Nofisat. Okay, the size is medium. All right. The state is default. Okay. What about the type? Is the type secondary? Thank you, Novisat. God bless you. Novisat, you're already a pro now. You are already a pro. Yes. Let's go. Yes. So this guy will now be disabled. So this guy will. What we are changing here is the type. The type is secondary. Right. Default. Okay. It's still default. This one will now be over. We are changing the state for this guy. This guy is disabled. This other guy is going to be tertiary, right? Tertiary. This other guy is going to be what? Over. This other guy is going to be medium tertiary disabled. Then this guy, not to waste our time, is going to be size big, primary and type primary, and state default, right? Then this guy is going to be over. This guy is then going to be disabled. Like I said earlier, please make sure you are not missing any spelling, because once you do, like, Figma will not recognize it and this error will keep popping up, this error that you can see here. So you need to be careful when naming. Okay, so this one is over. This one is disabled. Now this guy is what? Tertiary over. Now if I should click on this guy, okay, you can see this guy is still popping up. It means we have made a mistake somewhere, right? So now let me confirm. So I'm trying to confirm where the error is. Okay, I've not found it. Okay, so now when you click on this and you click on select conflicting, so this is where the issue is. So now let's check carefully. Small, secondary over. Oh, you can see. Can you see that this one is supposed to be tertiary? I went to name it as secondary. Can you see what I just said? So we need to be what? We need to be careful. Or else. This other guy too. How did I now miss it? So now I think we are good to go. So guys, can you see the error is not here anymore? That means we've properly named our, we've done our naming convention correctly. So now the next thing we want to do is to create Boolean property. So Boolean property is this. So now this is leading. The first icon that is showing is called leading. This second one is called and the first icon is called leading. Yes, this other one is called trailing. So now we want to select all the first icon in this thing, everything, all the entire first icon, everything is only the first icon. Oh, only the first icon. So now there are two things we are going to be creating here. We are going to be creating the instance swipe and the boolean together. So this is the inside swipe. So what this is saying is that this icon now, I'm going to show us what it's saying. So when you click on this arrow, let me go back. After selecting now, you come to this section here. You click on this icon, create a style property. You now name this leading icon. You click on enter. So now you do what? You do the same for the second guy. You click on the second guy. All the trailing. This other guy, we call them trailing icon. Trailing icons. So you click the entire thing. So now you come here, you click on create, you call it trailing icon. Bam. So now, I'm supposed to also create the boolean, right? So this is the boolean. You come to layer and you click on this guy, and you also name it trailing icon. So I'm going to tell us, what each and every one of these things. So we are going back to select the leading, where we were supposed to create the boolean property alongside, but I forgot. So I'm highlighting again so that I can create it at once together with the. Okay. Time is not on our side. Okay, so now we come here to layers. As you can see, you click on this and leading. Okay, so this I'm going to rename it. So now those are the two that we want to create here. So now when you click on this guy, now you can see these are the instance swipe, these are the boolean property. So I want to change this to show. I want to just switch it to show. You can see that it added 2 to it because we've already named it here. So show. So what boolean property means is you want to show something or you want to hide something. So I'm going to show us now. So now in this master component, let's just take any of the components here. Let me create let me just create So now you can see this is one component out of this. You can see that when you count how many components are here, this is 9 plus 3, that's 27. We have 27 there. So when you come here, guys, can you see you can filter by size, small, big. Can you see? Now you can also filter by type, primary, tertiary. Now you can also filter by state, over, disabled. Can you see? Now when you click on this guy, can you see? I want you guys to pay attention to what is going to show here. You can see that it's already showing that this guy. So now what this guy is saying is when you click on this arrow, it means you want to change the icon. Can you see? Can you see? You want to change the icon. Can you see? So now instead of clicking through this icon to change it here, no, just click on this button and you can change it. The same thing for the other icon too. Can you see? You can as well change that. So now if I want to hide this guy, if I don't want it to show, just see. Can you see? If I want to hide this guy, if it's just the text I want, can you see that this is what the boolean property is doing? Is a show and hide thing. if you want to show something, if you want to hide something, that is what that Boolean property is doing. Can you see? That is the function of Boolean property. Instant swap is when you want to swipe. So another thing is when you switch off a particular component, the instant swipe will also disappear with it. And you know the reason? Because, okay, this is not visible. What do you want to swipe? It's of no use. Do you get? So, that is how to create components, how to generate the variant, the states, and also how to create Boolean property, how to create instant swap. Can we see? It's as simple as ABC. So quickly, before we go, I just want to quickly just do a prototype inside of this, just to see how how the overstate works when it comes to prototype. It's not part of today's class, but just to switch things up. So now I'll come to prototype here. I click on this and navigate it to this over. I click on this guy while hovering. We're still going to learn about prototyping, right? So I just want to quickly just show. So this one, I come back here and I change it to mouse leave. Okay. While hovering, let me make it to okay. So let me change this back to small because I only did for the small. So let's play. So guys, can you see what I just did there with the prototype is when I hover on this, can you see? It should show me that. That's the overstate. Can you see? So, this is everything we need to know about, mastering Figma components, the variants, Boolean property, and so on and so forth. There are a lot, you can create, there are a lot of things you are going to use this to create. From property to input field, there are a lot. Let me just quickly, show us a button set. So guys, can you see how big this button component set is? Can you see how big it is? Now there are 3 sizes here, 5 sizes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sizes. There are 4 states. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now there are 3 there are 3 like types or hierarchy sort of. The one with icon, the one with just dots, so there are lots. And also, there's another one that I didn't do is the destructive states. Another thing with let me just quickly show something. For example, if you want to, okay, let me just bring this here. Let me detach and let me just create as component. So now what I want to do here is if you want to do like switch on and off. So let's say this one is default, right? You just say default equals to yes, default equals to no. So now when I bring this out, so you can see this is default. If I don't want it to be default, switch. Can you see? So there are a lot of things you are going to learn, right? I'm going to be sending us, materials, and we are going to learn more things. So if this, my explanation is not clear, you can always, I'm going to also upload this video. We can rewatch, and also in the material, it's going to, be well detailed, right? There are some things that I might have skipped, but in the material in the video is going to be, well explanatory. Thank you everyone for joining today's section. Enjoy the rest of your evening, enjoy your weekend, and until next time, do have fun and stay fab.